What the fuck? Just give me a sec. Hey, let me check if we are live. Yeah, we are. So we are back again, going to react on some dating horror stories. So
Who
before we
wants to hear the story
so before we get into this video, like, share, and sub, and do all the things.
about the guy that I was seeing who was also seeing his sister? I meet this guy on Hinge, okay? He's gorgeous. Like, he
Fuck.
looks just like Leo from Tell Me Lies, okay? Gorgeous. So he drives 2 hours to take me on our first date, and we had been talking for a couple weeks at this point, and this is right before or right after my divorce. So like, I would never do this now. I would never do this now. But I was like, okay, like, why don't you just like stay the night after our date? Girl, be so real. Do you think that's a good idea? No. I'll call him Tony. That's not his name. I opened my door, I said, Tony, and he looks up and starts skipping stairs to get to me. And he gives me a big hug, and he has flowers. He was like, I'm so excited to like actually see you. And I was like, me too. I was like, I'm finishing getting ready, like, come in, whatever. He takes me to dinner. He has a really nice car. He takes me to a very nice restaurant. I'm like, okay, this guy has his life together. He had gotten out of the military. I won't say which branch. And he was getting his master's. So I was like, his life is like put together. I'm obsessed. And the conversation is so good. And he's so interested about my interests, which is like not typical. A lot of people just don't want to talk about neuroplasticity and how cool it is. That's like one of my biggest interests. He was clocked in. He was ready, okay? He was applying for the job to be my boyfriend. And he's telling me about him, and he grew up on a farm in a southern state, and he was homeschooled. But like, not the type of homeschool where you're with other kids, the type of homeschool that it's just you and your siblings, okay? And he has a sister. He was
Shit.
like a year
Fuck.
younger, 2 years
Shit.
younger. Anyways, so we finished the first date. He stays over. He's already texted me about our next date. He's excited. He's like really into it. So he says, why don't you come by me, which is by like Eastern, like ECU. I think that was the school he was getting his master's at. And he was like, we'll do like some fun mini golf. I'll take you to this hot dog place, because he knows I
Just get to the point.
love hot dogs. I love hot dogs. Leading up
I really am not sitting here listening about the whole fucking life story from where and how they get, like, fertilized in the egg.
to the date, I was feeling like sketched out for whatever reason. For really no reason. He was great. But my like intuition was like, ooh, this is not good. But my heart was like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Ugh. Having
Shit,
fun,
fuck.
living life, he's hot. At the same time, there was a documentary about that guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Call Me By Your Name. And there was a documentary about like all the girls that he had like essayed. And like, for whatever reason, I was getting the same vibe. And I was also getting the same vibe of like, maybe he was gonna eat me at some point. And I can't explain why. He never like gave me any reason to believe that he was going to eat me. But I started to really really hone in on the fact that he was gonna like hurt me somehow. So we go on the date. Date is so fun. But then at dinner, after mini golf, he was like, you know what? You look just like my cousin. And I was
Oh
like, oh my
shit, fuck
gosh.
no. Fuck
Huh.
no,
And he
fuck.
was like, I mean, she's
Oh
hot.
shit, like
Oh,
fuck.
oh, oh, okay.
Did he, did
I was
he
like,
said that
oh my
this shit?
gosh. Huh. And he was like, I mean, she's hot. You're like, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
that's disgusting as fuck.
okay. He showed me a picture. I look identical. Identical. And then he's telling me how hot I am the rest of the night. And I'm thinking, oh, this guy wants to fuck his cousin. This is what this is. He wants to fuck his cousin. So we go back. He gets a hotel because he has a roommate because he's in school. He brings out things. Things that I don't want. Wait, who are you doing that with? Because it ain't me. Like, dangerous things. Like, for the bedroom? I was like, this isn't like, I'm not, no.
Shit.
We started having
fuck.
like pillow talk. Okay, we're getting really deep into conversation. And he reveals to me that when he was in like 3rd grade, him and his sister got really curious.
Holy fuck,
I'm
man.
gonna throw up.
Shit, like,
Girl.
fuck you, Naya.
And I was like, huh? What do you mean by that?
Shit, man, like, fuck.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And he like really gets into detail of what they did from 3rd grade to a couple of years ago.
How?
They were having a full-blown relationship. In that in just that one way. Okay? I really hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, okay? Him and his sister had relations for years. And I'm fawning at this point because I'm like, I'm actually in danger. This is not good. I've been drinking. I can't drive home 2 hours. And so I become a therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that probably really affected you, you know, throughout your whole
She's trying her best so that she don't get eaten.
childhood. Like, do you think that's like brought into your adult like your life? Like, I'm trying to be a therapist, you know, and try to make him feel comfortable to just like keep talking. But I'm like, I really don't want to hear it. But what am I gonna do? I gotta know where to go.
Yeah, and what choice does she have? Does she
So
have?
he tells me everything.
Does she have? I'm sorry.
Everything until we fall asleep. I'm driving home.
No. What
am I gonna do? I gotta know where to go. So he tells me everything until we fall asleep. I'm driving home. He's calling me, and he's just like, I had so much fun. Like, I love getting to know you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me too. So much fun. So much fun. But I was like, you know what? It feels like you don't really have a relationship with God. So, like, I need that. And he was like, well, I also need someone that I can... But, like...
Oh. Shit. Holy.
I said, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you just didn't seem into, like, all the things that I was into. Yeah, because I'm not. Because most people aren't. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, but, like, yuck. Yucky. Yeah. No. Just because they look like Leo does not mean you should date them. No. Ugh. I'm so, like, honestly, this is embarrassing for me to tell. I've waited 2 years to tell this story. Because every time I try to, I'm like, oh, this looks bad for me. Like,
at maximum has bodies hidden. I went on a date with a man who, at minimum, is incredibly disturbed, at maximum has bodies hidden somewhere. This was like 3...
Huh? Did I heard that correct?
At minimum is incredibly disturbed, at maximum
Has bodies hidden somewhere.
Has bodies hidden somewhere. This was like 3 years ago, but I was literally watching a true crime show and I thought of this story and I was like, you know what? I gotta share with the class. I had been hanging out with this guy. We had gotten like dinner and coffee a few times and he was like super quiet, but like as a bitch who doesn't shut the fuck up, like I'll take it. One night we were getting drinks and it was like pouring down rain. And so I was trying to call my Uber to leave, but they kept canceling. And he was like, oh, like I live down the street. Like you can just come hang out at my place for a little bit until you can get an Uber. We're walking into his apartment building. And as we're walking in, I start.
She really just fucking transformed her skin. Here she's pink. Here she's peach. Like, how the fuck is that even possible?
Getting like a horrible feeling in my stomach. Like my intuition was intuitioning, but I wrote it off and I was like, oh, I'm probably just like nervous. Like he seems like a totally nice, fine guy. Like I'm sure this is a fine situation. Side note, it wasn't. So we walk into his apartment and the very first thing I see on the wall is a like 1800s era shotgun hanging on the wall in a case, like above his TV. Like people were wearing powdered wigs when this model dropped. So I'm like, is this what John Wilkes Booth had in the theater? Like, it's the weapon that took out Abe? Because it was a full-blown musket, y'all. And then surrounded by said musket was just a bunch of paintings of war. And
Fuck.
like, this is no shade to anyone who likes history. Like, John Green raised me. Hello. Like, I love a good history moment as much as the next person. But like, white men that are obsessed with war and guns. I think I've seen this film before. And I didn't like the ending. So he sees me looking at all the shit on his wall. And he looks to me and goes, yeah, I guess you could say I'm a war guy. And I'm like, yeah, like, feel that.
Like, that has to be one of the fucking cringiest thing that I have. She like, fuck, how. That's why men don't get no dates. These type of men, not, I'm not talking about each and every man. Like, they are cringe as fuck. They are just trying to prove their, like some kind of masculinity. Okay, we understood that you are masculine, so let it be. Why the fuck you have to, like force onto someone's face that shit?
Love a good musket from time to time. So I'm like looking around the rest of his apartment because I'm like, the Star Spangled Banner has got to be around here somewhere. And I look at his coffee table and I notice that he has a few books on it. And I'm like, oh, I wonder like what he's reading. Like, I bet it's some kind of like history book. Like, wonder what light reading he's getting in. I look at the titles and it's all books about serial killers. There's like a Ted Bundy one and another one was like some kind of true crime serial killer one. And I'm just looking at that like, holy shit, like this is getting fucking weird. So now I'm just trying to decide like what the fuck do I do in this situation. So my mind is just going a million miles a minute and his phone starts ringing. He looks at his phone and he turns to me and goes, ugh, this is my bitch ass ex-girlfriend. I was hoping she wouldn't make this mistake again. She knows what's gonna happen. That moment I was like, okay, yeah, like that was my cue to get the fuck out of there. I immediately text my sister and I'm like, hey, I am in an emergency situation. I need you to call me and pretend there's an emergency and I have to leave immediately. So my sister calls me and I put on a fucking Oscar-winning performance. I'm like, hey, I am so sorry. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm having such a great time. But my sister just called me and her dog's missing and she's like looking for it in the pouring rain and she's having a panic attack and I have to go help her. I'm so sorry, like, let's do a rain check, pick this up, like, tomorrow, like, let's just reschedule. And he was like, oh, well, like, that sucks, like, are you sure you have to go now? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm positive, like, she really needs me, I'm so sorry. And at this point, his entire demeanor changes and goes from being, like, a very lighthearted, nice guy to turning, like, so serious. Like, his entire face, his demeanor, everything changed. And he looks at me and goes, well, I can't let you leave this soon now, can I?
Oh.
When he said that, I was like, fuck. I'm about to end up on a fucking t-shirt. It's about to break that musket out of its case. Death by musket in 2023 is crazy. Like, how is this happening? My heart is just racing and pounding and my face just goes completely white. He sees me like freaking the fuck out because I know it's all over my face. I look like I'm gonna puke. And he goes, oh, I'm just kidding with you. I'm like, yeah, of course you are. Have you ever tried being a comedian? Like, you're really funny. Like, that was a good one. You had me there. So I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, my sister's already here. Like, I gotta go. Like, it was great meeting you. Like, we'll do a rain check for this, knowing damn well this man will never see my face ever again. Looks at me like very serious again and goes, have a great night. I hope the elevator's working so you can make it out. I'm like, Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
Once I get out of the apartment, I
shit.
Usain Bolt for the staircase. Like, I can't even take 10 steps without getting out of breath. But that day, she was a runner. She was a track star. And after he made the comment about the elevator, I'm freaking the fuck out because I'm like, did he hire someone to like wait in the elevator for me? Am I about to go toe to toe with someone in a powdered wig? Like, what is about to happen? Like, so I take off for the stairs and I'm running down the stairs. And then I'm like thinking to myself, wait, fuck, in all the horror movies, the bad guy chases the person down the staircase. Like, that always happens. So I'm like, okay, I gotta exit these stairs. So I get off on a random floor. So I'm just like waiting on this random floor, deciding, do I wait it out? Like, do I call the fucking police? Like, what do I do? Even though the apartment building is empty as fuck, this like old man comes up to me and he's like a resident that lives in the building, and he was like, oh, like, hi, how are you? Like, do you live here? And I'm like, no, like, I'm just visiting a friend. Just having like a nice polite little conversation, and he seemed just like an old man that was like kind of lonely and wanted someone to talk to. So I was like, oh, he seems like sweet, I'll just have a little conversation with him. And he starts getting really fucking like close to me and getting creepy. And I had told him that I was waiting for my sister to come pick me up, so he's like, oh, you can come wait in my apartment if you would like. As he's
Shit.
saying this, he's like inching
Like, where are they even living? Each and every person is so weird that they.
closer and closer to me, and then he like goes to grab my hand, and I was like, absolutely not. And I was like, well, I think my sister just got here, I gotta go. So like now I'm running from two crazy guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
gonna take my chances and go back to the staircase. So I just book it down the staircase. I finally get to the lobby. At this point, my sister really is here to pick me up. She pulls up out front and I run into the car, and I'm like, go, go, go. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Ladies, if y'all see a musket hanging up in someone's apartment, run.
This is why I deleted my Tinder, and why every single girl watching this needs to delete her Tinder too. This happened a few years ago, and I honestly consider myself so incredibly lucky to be
Why do you even have to be on Tinder? Just get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of your like house. Go somewhere and find someone. It's really that isn't that hard.
alive after experiencing this. I was living in New York City at the time, and I matched with a guy. For the entire time we were talking, he was really aggressively trying to get me to go out with him. And eventually I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let this guy take me out on a date. Maybe I'm just being judgmental. Maybe he's not being desperate. Maybe he's just putting in an effort. So the day of the date rolls around, and he tells me that he wants to take me out to a restaurant that is a bit of a hidden gem and is a little bit outside of the city in an area of Westchester called Yonkers. And even though he offered to drive me, I was like, no, it's all good. I actually had my own car in New York City, so I agreed to meet up with him. Now, I feel like an absolute idiot because I didn't even Google this place before I went. So on the night of the date, I'm driving to this place. I put it into my GPS, and it's really weird because as soon as I see it in the GPS, it says that the place is closed. So I text my date and I'm like, hey, I just put this place into the GPS and it is telling me that it is actually closed. To which he replies, oh no, don't worry. They're really bad at updating their hours. This is the part where I should have just been like, oh hell no, and I should have canceled the date, but somehow I decided it would be a good idea to get in my car and drive 40 minutes to Yonkers for a date with a guy. So after 40 minutes of driving in traffic, I arrive at this place in Yonkers. I pull up to the building and I quickly realize that there is I actually had
I really am fucking sorry because
I use this. What am I being really like? Oh, well, my chances are really.
to meet up with him. Now, I feel like an absolute idiot because I didn't even Google this place before I went. So on the night of the date, I'm driving to this place. I put it into my GPS, and it's really weird because as soon as I see it in the GPS, it says that the place is closed. So I text my date and I'm like, hey, I just put this place into the GPS and it is telling me that it is actually closed. To which he replies, oh no, don't worry. They're really bad at updating their hours. This is the part where I should have just been like, oh hell no, and I should have canceled the date, but somehow I decided it would be a good idea to get in my car and drive 40 minutes to Yonkers for a date with a guy. So after 40 minutes of driving in traffic, I arrive at this place in Yonkers. I pull up to the building and I quickly realize that there is nobody in the parking lot and that indeed this business is really closed. Not to mention, my car is the only car in the parking lot.
Oh,
so
fuck.
I start to panic, and as I look behind me to put my car in reverse, I notice another car pull up. This car pulls up right beside me. I don't even look at the person sitting in the car. I just simply back up out of that parking lot as fast as I can, and I get the heck out of there. The entire way home, I am just looking in my rear view mirror to see if there's anyone behind me, and thankfully there was not. And the craziest part of all of this is when I got home, I went back onto that dating app and I could see that the profile had unmatched with me. I never got a chance to screenshot that profile. I never learned the guy's last name, but I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard this happening to girls on dating apps. It's not worth it. Just delete it for your own safety. And if you are going to be on dating apps, please always make sure to get the person's last name and to meet in a place that you are familiar with.
A lot of people are doing Hinge horror stories on here. So I want to contribute mine. This is one of the worst dates I've ever been on in my entire life. And granted, some people have had